Are playing Madden 21 Ultimate Team and you do need coins for that new card coming out, head over to Red Zone Coins. They are super reliable. Use code Jurisco at checkout for 20% off. What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jurisco coming at you guys with another video, boys, and today we did get our hands on Madden 22 The Yard, fellas. Yes, we did get to play it early, so I'm going to be telling you guys everything they changed, my thoughts on the gameplay, just everything, y'all. I'm going to talk about right in this video right here, so let's go to hop into it. Now, if you guys have not already, make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe, fellas. Doing those three things will go a long way, and I would highly appreciate it. And also make sure you turn on that bell notification so you guys never miss anything Madden 22. Alright fellas, so now let's go and hop into the video. So before we do talk about all the stuff that I did see with the yard and just all the details and stuff, the first thing I do want to say is what I did play was the beta. So I played the Madden 22 beta, and they just dropped the update today for the beta, and basically it was, you know, it basically allowed us to play the yard basically. But before, you know, the week past we weren't able to play a yard. We would just be able to play, you know, franchise, ultimate team, stuff like that. But now we're able to hop into the yard. It's actually in the beta now. We can actually play it, so I can see, you know, what's all the game modes and just everything about the yard. So that is definitely a huge W on EA's part. I love that they added yards so that we can actually play it and test it out and see, you know, just everything with it. So with that also being said, that means that this is not the final product. So everything you hear in this video, it is confirmed, but stuff can also get better. So that's gonna get like taken out. Everything I say in this video is not gonna not be there when the game drops. There's only gonna be stuff added. So if that makes sense. So all this stuff in this video will be confirmed. This is confirmed because I have played the beta. So they did drop the update today, and like I said, we can play the yard now. So we can play the yard. And yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. EA really listened to everything I had to say. They listened to all the wish list videos we did earlier last year, Madden 21. All the videos I did, they actually listened. I really thank EA for that, because they really made this game mode good. They really did. They really changed a lot of things, and we're going to go into it in just a second. But yeah, I just wanted to say really thank you to EA, because like I said, but bro, without them actually listening, it would just been the same thing. If I would have made them videos, they would have made the yard the exact same, because they wouldn't think anybody would actually, you know, have some opinion or voice on it. So I'm just glad that they actually changed a lot of stuff forward. Now, since we are on the topic of the Madden 22 beta, I will be giving one away in this video right here. So if you do have a next gen Xbox, the Xbox Series S or X, let me know in the comments below. Let me know which, you know, next gen console you have, and I will choose a random person in the comments that do comment that. I will give one away to one of y'all in the comments. So make sure y'all comment that below, and also just comment, you know, what you think about all these updates and changes. How do you think? How do you feel about all this new stuff? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. And now also, fellas, I can't show any gameplay, so I really want to show you guys some yard gameplay for Madden 22, but I just cannot. So in the background of this video, I'm just gonna have the gameplay trailer, you know, just going in the background, because I just cannot. They do not allow you to show any gameplay for the Madden 22 beta, so I cannot show any gameplay. And then also, just one more thing that I do want to say is that I know a lot of stuff is going to get better, like you know, we're gonna see a big difference once the game drops, because we don't even know what Face the Franchise looks like, and Face the Franchise will be directly translated and correlated with the yard this year. They already said it. If you look at the pre-order stuff, if you look at all the blogs, they say that it will be directly correlated. So whatever you do in Face the Franchise will transfer right over to your yard player. If you want to level up your yard player in Face the Franchise, you can do that, and it's gonna go right over to, you know, to your yard player, and that's how, you know, you're gonna be able to do it like that. Also, last year was not like that, so I'm glad that they actually did that this year, where it actually translated. Last year they said it, they said it did translate, but it actually didn't. You didn't get any of the, you know, abilities or anything from Face the Franchise. You didn't get none of that, but this year you will. So that's a huge W on EA's part. Alright, fellas, so the first thing I do want to talk about with the yard is the gameplay. You know, we gotta talk about the gameplay, fellas. We gotta talk about gameplay. That's the first thing everybody's gonna be worried about. That's everything. That's the first thing everybody's gonna want to know is, what's the gameplay looking like, and do I like the gameplay? And yes, I do like the gameplay, and this is next gen. I'm telling you guys right now, this is next gen. So the movement in next gen is still slow, like how it was last year, but it's gotten a lot better. And especially in Madden 22, the players are way faster and they feel really smooth. And now I know this is not, I haven't played current gen, but I know current gen, their players are gonna feel like probably like last year. They're gonna feel like fast. They're gonna feel way faster. They're gonna accelerate faster and all that type of stuff like last year. And they're gonna do it way better than, you know, next gen. For next gen, they have like this real player movement thing going on. So like your players don't accelerate fast, and that kind of hurts next gen, because I feel like, you know, if you can't stop and go, you can't, you know, accelerate fast and stuff like that, it hurts, you know, just the gameplay. But even with that, even with all that being said, I still like the gameplay, fellas. I still like the gameplay. If I'm able to play next gen, like if you know, if let's say, you know, next gen is the move for, you know, this upcoming Madden 22, I will definitely be on next gen. But it really just depends on where the game goes. But as of right now, as I played the beta, the movement is, you know, it's acceptable. It's acceptable. It's not where I want it to be, but it's still enjoyable. And I would be able to do it. I would be able to play an entire year on Madden 22 with how the movement is now. I'd be able to do it, honestly. I would. So that's the first thing I will talk about with gameplay is the movement. And like I said, this is next gen, so this is how it's gonna be for next gen. And then next thing I do want to talk about is momentum. If you do go you know, look at the blogs and stuff, they do say that momentum is in the yard, and yes, it is. So momentum is basically going to be like basically just like a crowd type of noise thing going on, to where, you know, if you're dominating your opponent, there's going to be certain factors that happen during the game that basically play towards you being, you know, dominating your opponent. So let's just say, you know, you're in the yard game, you just intercepted your opponent or something. Now there's going to be there's going to be a momentum factor that will go towards your way. It will go towards your way, even if it doesn't matter if you're home or away. There's going to be certain stuff. So let's just say you're home. You're gonna get more momentum factors for being home than if you're away. So let's just say if you're home, you get 4 momentum factors, and if you pick off your opponent, you're gonna go up to that first tier of momentum factor. And that first tier could be something like, oh, like the player's buttons disappear, or you know, if they're trying to do a hot route, it's not gonna, you know, show the right play art, stuff like that. They're basically gonna reward you for dominating your opponent, and I love that. I love that. They're going to reward you. This is even in now I know, you know, and for like MUT, for like weekly, I don't think that's gonna be a thing, but for the yard, even if you're playing ranked, if you're playing any of that, it's gonna do that. It's gonna have momentum, and I love that. Now I didn't see the bar in the beta. They said that the bar didn't show up the momentum bar, but the momentum bar is supposed to be like above the scoreboard. So it's gonna be like above the scoreboard, and it's gonna tell you, you know, if you have momentum or your opponent has momentum. It's gonna tell you who has the momentum in the ball game. So I feel like that's a huge W. I feel like that's huge, and I feel like it's gonna play a huge part in the yard. I feel like it's gonna play a huge part. Now I'm not sure if this is gonna be a next gen only feature. I'm not totally sure. They haven't confirmed it or denied it. But it's definitely gonna be a next gen. 100% gonna be a next gen. And now also something that I did want to touch on is now if you guys want to know exactly when, you know, the official details from EA and like official like trailer for the yard is gonna come out, that's gonna be July 12th. I want y'all just to know that right now. Just know that, you know, if I don't touch on something or if I'm not sure of something, EA is gonna go fully in depth of the yard. They're gonna have blogs from EA themselves about the yard on July 12th, the week of July 12th. They're gonna have blogs, and they're probably gonna drop a trailer on the yard. So that's when we're gonna get there, you know, all the details on it. We're gonna get, you know, what's gonna be on next gen, what's gonna be on current gen. They're gonna tell us all of that. So that's when we'll figure that out. But the stuff I said, like I said, the stuff I'm talking about in this video is just from what I can see in the beta, and that's is basically confirmed because it's in the beta. So still talking about you know, gameplay. They didn't add no new like mechanics, like, you know, how we could pitch it, and you know how we can, like, you know, one time pass it and all that type of stuff last year. That's gonna be in the game this year, but we didn't get nothing like new as a mechanic. We didn't get nothing new, but that can always change before the game comes out. And we also didn't get no new scoreboard. The scoreboard is actually the same as last year in Madden 21, but that can change. And then the last thing with gameplay, the last thing I do want to talk about is new animations and celebrations. So I did see a bunch of new celebrations. There's like a new walkout, you know, intro type of thing going on. You know, there's a little intro that would go on when you first get into the game. All that is new. They have new animations for all that, new celebrations for all that. Now we can't change our celebrations in the beta, but they did say once the game comes out, you are able to change your celebrations, have custom celebrations and stuff like that, because it said that in the pre-order bonus. I mean, it said that in one of their blogs on their official site. It said you will be able to change your celebration and all that type of stuff. So that will be a thing. You will be able to change your celebrations, which is a huge W. But in the beta, you cannot see it. You can't see that in the beta. So that's it for gameplay. That is it for gameplay, fellas. And like I said, I feel like it's a W overall. Alright, fellas, now the second thing that I do want to talk about, the second, point that I want to talk about with the yards is the classes. So basically, this is going to be the prototypes of last year. You know, they were prototypes, you know, the build of your player and stuff like that, how your player would play on the field. They were called prototypes. Now they're called classes. And we talked about this in the last video. Actually, maybe we talked about this in the last video. But yeah, they're gonna be called classes this year, and they are fully rehauling this area. They're gonna have, you know, they're gonna have new classes. Nothing from last year is gonna be the same. Everything is new. The only thing that's from last year is the skill point. They're gonna have skill points, but also attached to that is they're gonna have overall systems. So you're gonna be able to reach, you know, a 99 overall player, a 95 overall you know, yard player. You're gonna be able to do that in Madden 22 because they're gonna have overalls attached to these skill points. So you know how you level up your class, you know, you get all these skill points, you know, just to max out the player. This year you will not be able to fully max out a player. So let's just say there's 5, you know, categories for attributes, right? You can only get 20. So you're not gonna be able to, you know, fully max. You're not gonna be able to like fully, you know, get every single one. You're not gonna be able to fully maximize those players. Some people have 6 categories. Some people have, you know, 7 categories. You're not gonna be able to fully. So you're gonna basically have to be decisive on where you want to spend your skill points. Do you want to, you know, spend your skill points on all speed and then go, you know, all elusive? But you know, you're not gonna maybe have no catching, stuff like that. You're gonna you're gonna be real decisive on where you want to spend your skill points. So that's gonna be a huge skill gap, is, you know, where people spend their skill points, where people, you know, want to upgrade certain stuff, where people want to do this and that on their class. So that's gonna be a huge thing. And I also talked about physiques. Physiques is a thing also we talked about in my last video. There's gonna be 3 physiques, and that's basically just the build that your player is gonna be. So you know, if you want to be, let's say 6'5" and you know 300 pounds or something, you're gonna have to be the bruiser build. So there's gonna be 3 physiques. There's gonna be bruiser, agile, and balance. So there's gonna be different type of, you know, your player's gonna be built different basically for these 3 different physiques, and those physiques will basically, they're gonna change the way your class plays. So let's just say, you know, you have an agile, you know, let's say you have an agile lucky 7. Lucky 7 is one of the classes. Let's say you have an agile lucky 7, you're gonna be maybe faster than if you have a balanced lucky 7. So that's how it is, and that's how the physiques play into the classes. So physiques will be a huge thing also. And now, also speaking about classes, there's only 6 classes in the beta. There's only 6 classes, and we already know there's gonna be more. We already know that. And I talked about, you know, every single one last video, so make sure you check out the last video. But like I said, there is 6, but we already know there's gonna be more, and it's simply because in the pre-order, in the, you know, the pre-order editions, you can basically get a upgrade to level 10 right when you get the game. If you pre-order any edition of Madden 22, you get an upgrade to level 10 on the general class, and that general class doesn't show in the beta, but it's obviously gonna be there when the full game comes out. So I'm guessing there's gonna be like 10. I'm guessing there's gonna be like 10 classes once the game drops. I'm guessing there's gonna be like 10. So I feel like that's a huge W. I feel like 10 classes is a good amount for them to start at. And you know, hopefully throughout the year they add more classes, you know, take out some, you know, just, you know, just keep it fresh on the classes in the, you know, prototype area. Make sure they always add something or removing some, just keeping it fresh all through the year. But yeah, that's everything concerning you know, classes and the overall system coming to Madden 22. And the third big point I do want to talk about is venues. So venues, that I only saw one venue in the one new venue in the beta. There's only one new venue, and it was called London. So it's like a London-based type of, you know, venue. But we already know there's gonna be more new venues because they said it in the blogs. They said, you know, there's gonna be like mountainy type of venues. There's gonna be beach, you know, vibes type of venues and stuff like that. So we're gonna get a bunch of new venues throughout the year, hopefully throughout the year. But I know once the game comes out, there's gonna be more than just that one new one. And then there's also 2 returning ones. It's gonna be Miami Port and Lambeau Leap. Those 2 look like they are coming back. So those look like they definitely coming back. They didn't say anything. I didn't see anything about Brandenburg or like the FOB Nyko. None of those. I didn't see any of those. But they do have the Lambeau Leap and the Miami Port coming back. That's what it looks like. But they could easily change. They could easily, you know, take out those 2 and put in, you know, the all new, you know, venues. But I'm pretty sure those 2 are gonna come back because I just feel like those are just too good venues that they could just, you know, bring back, and then, you know, just bring out everything new for other venues and stuff. So they could definitely bring those two back, I feel like. And the fourth thing I do also want to talk about is the ways to earn cred and gear. There's a lot of ways to earn cred and gear. There's a lot of ways. There's the season rewards. Those are coming back. There's gonna be venue rewards. Those are coming back. There's gonna be rewards for, you know, leveling up your, you know, your class. You get way more rewards, and you get cred for doing that this year. You will get cred and way more gear for doing that. And also there's gonna be a lot of objectives. There's a lot. So remember how last year there was only like maybe like 8 objectives? There's like a bunch. There's like 20, 30 objectives. It's like you could do every, you know, every 7 days, every day type stuff. So there's gonna be a lot of ways to earn cred. And that's not even considering the game modes. I'm not even talking about, you know, playing, you know, specific game modes, which I'm about to get into in a second. But, you know, there's gonna be a bunch of ways to get a lot of cred and gear to in Madden 22 the yard. So I'm really glad about that. Now fellas, the last thing I do want to talk about this video is going to be the game modes of the yard and just a little bit of the customization. So the first thing is I want to talk about these game modes. So once you get into the yard, in the beta, it shows that there's campaign, play a friend, live events, and there's ranked. So those are the 4 game modes, you know, playable game modes that you can play. So campaign is basically going to be like a solo story type of, you know, solo experience basically. So in Madden Mobile, they had a solo experience for the yard in Madden Mobile. So that looks like that is coming over to console. There's gonna be like a storyline with it. There's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be like its own thing. It's not just, you know, solo challenges. It's gonna be its own thing where you get gear and, you know, you level up and, you know, go through the campaign type stuff. So it's gonna be its own thing. So that's a huge W. It has a little bit more of you know, just a little bit more of context and substance to it than just, you know, just playing solo just to rank up your player. It has a little bit more to it now. Player friends, we already know what player friend is. They added this you know, in the middle of last year, like around like November of last year. It wasn't there when the game came out, but it is gonna be here once Madden 22 comes out. There is player friend. And it's basically kind of like the same way, you know, you can invite 3 friends, you know, play against 3 people, stuff like that. And it shows that it's on Miami Port, but I'm pretty sure that's going to end up changing. But player friend is coming back. And we also got live events. Live events is basically going to be like the pubs. It's going to be like the, you know, like the fun game mode of the yard this year. Last year, there was no like ranked or competitive mode. So, you know, whenever you played the yard, it was just a fun, you know, it was a fun mode. It was just being fun, you know, trying to have fun. But now they're going to have live events, and these live events are going to be like limited time, you know, stuff going on to where you play it, you're just, you know, going for gear and you're just having fun with your friends. This is going to be like the pubs type of mode basically for the yard this year. This is going to be the pubs type of mode. You can play it, you know, by yourself. You can play it with, you know, your friends. You do everything with it. And like I said, you can play against people. And, you know, it's just going to be a fun, but it's going to be a fun type of experience. But now we got ranked, fellas. They did add ranked for this year. And it is insane, fellas. I'm talking about, they have leaderboards, they have stat tracking, they have you know, tiers. You know, it's like, you know, you start, you know how ranked is, you know, you start off like at, you know, a certain level like rookie or like some type of beginner level, and then you go all the way up, you level up, you know, you go through the ranks and stuff. That will be how it is. And they basically said how they're gonna match you up is, you know, it's gonna be like an ELO type of thing. If you have a good win percentage, depending on your win percentage, depending on where you are on the leaderboard, that's how they're gonna match you up with other players. If you're on, you know, top 5 leaderboard, you're not gonna be matched up with a bot from down the street. No, you're gonna be matched up with the best yard players in the world, and that's how it's gonna be. Like I said, they have the leaderboard. The leaderboard is actually like, it's actually a good leaderboard. It shows who's number 1 in the world, stuff like that. They have stat tracking, shows how many wins and losses you have, shows how many touchdowns you've thrown, how many interceptions you have, which streak are you on. You are on a 3-game win streak. It shows all that type of stuff for ranked. So ranked is gonna be a huge W for the yard, and I love that they did add it. Now I'm going to I'm gonna go into another video about it. I'm gonna make another video because they do have a couple more other things that I do want to talk about regarding the yard. I'm really gonna go in depth about it. But yeah, that is basically how the yard, I mean, that's basically how ranked is gonna be. This is gonna be a huge W for the yard. And I'm really glad they add that. And now customization wise, they didn't really add anything like new. They didn't add like no speed flexes. You can't wear a speed flex. You can't wear you know, armbands or towels still. But there is hope with this because when I went to a ranked game for the yard, the CPUs will have Pro Bowl, you know, uniforms on. They're gonna have Pro Bowl uniforms so that they all wearing the same, you know, just the same colors. But the good thing about this is the CPUs have their own, they have their own drip. So let's say Jamal Adams, he's gonna have a speed flex with armbands and, you know, his Jordan cleats. They actually have their drip. So that gives me hope on that gives me hope on basically them adding it in the future. That really does give me hope. And I also did talk to an EA dev about this. I talked to JP Cullums. I did DM him, and he basically said that that he himself can't talk about it, because I asked him, you know, are they gonna add speed flexes and stuff. He said he himself can't talk about it. He's saying that he's not in charge of gear. He's more in charge of, you know, gameplay stuff, mechanics, all that type of stuff. So he's not in charge of it. But I do confidently think, because he didn't say no, because he couldn't, you know, he just didn't say basically anything on it. I think that will basically mean that it will be coming in the future, or just, you know, sometime in the future. It's just that he couldn't talk about it himself. So I feel like this is a huge W, and I really want to see it in the future, because it's a huge. But all right, guys, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for more, and until next time, peace.